This video contains content that may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm diving into the scariest horror movies ever made and challenging myself to watch them all in one night without screaming. From classics that have terrified audiences for decades to modern masterpieces that will leave you sleeping with the lights on. Today, we're counting down the most frightening films that will make your skin crawl. Creating a truly terrifying horror movie is no easy feat. Filmmakers face a daunting task of crafting a narrative that not only sends chills down your spine, but also leaves a lasting impact long after the credits roll. So, what makes a horror movie truly scary? Is it the jump scares, the atmosphere, or the unsettling feeling that lingers long after the movie ends? One thing's for sure, it's a delicate balance of several key elements that make a horror movie memorable and downright terrifying. One of the most crucial elements of a horror movie is the atmosphere. Think about it. A creepy setting can elevate even the most mediocre plot into a masterclass of tension and fear. Take, for example, the Overlook Hotel in The Shining. That place is inherently unsettling, and it's what makes the film's slow-burning tension so unbearable. And then there's the score. The score. A haunting soundtrack can turn even the most mundane scene into a heart-stopping experience. But what about the plot itself? A good horror movie needs a narrative that's engaging, yet not so complex that it distracts from the scares. Take, for instance, the found footage genre. These films often rely on a simple yet effective premise that lets the scares speak for themselves. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule, but when done well, a horror movie's plot can be just as terrifying as its scares. Moving on to the main event, let's dive into the list of the scariest horror movies ever made. From The Exorcist to Hereditary, these films have not only terrified audiences, but have also left a lasting impact on the horror genre. Take, for instance, The Exorcist, a film so terrifying that it was banned in several countries upon its release. And then there's Get Out, a film that cleverly disguises its horrors under a veneer of social commentary. But what about the atmosphere in A Quiet Place? That film's use of sound design is a masterclass in tension, making even the slightest noise a heart-stopping experience. And who can forget the iconic shower scene in Psycho? That scene is as terrifying today as it was back in 1960. The list goes on. But what about the #1 scariest horror movie of all time? Drumroll please. According to my criteria, the scariest horror movie of all time is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This 1974 classic is a masterclass in building tension and creating a sense of dread that lingers long after the credits roll. Its impact on the horror genre cannot be overstated, and its influence can still be felt in modern horror movies today. From its haunting score to its gruesome kills, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a film that will leave even the most seasoned horror fan sleeping with the lights on. So, there you have it, folks, the scariest horror movies ever made. From classics that have terrified audiences for decades to modern masterpieces that will leave you sleeping with the lights on, we've covered them all. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more horror-related content. What's the scariest horror movie you've ever seen? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more content that will leave you shivering in fear.